County Sheriff's Department been staying busy this week. Of course, a lot of folks still asking us about the alleged rape and abduction that we talked about last week. I'm just going to let you know that they're still investigating that. I have stayed in touch with the authorities there. They're still working on that and going over all the evidence. But you know, it takes a certain turn at some points where they have to be so careful that at that point it's going to sound like they're being quiet for a while. And you got to be patient with them while they work. You don't want to rush officers of the law. I mean, that is how mistakes are made. And the Greene County Sheriff's Department doing their best on this. And I'm staying in touch with them, so I can tell you that from firsthand knowledge. I want to do also, while we're talking about the Greene County Sheriff's Department, tell you some of the other work that their deputies have been doing this week. Specifically, they arrested 3 suspects earlier this week after they learned that they were in a home with, well, the power coming from the neighbor's house and no water. But the home did have meth. That's what the report said. Authorities actually found meth packaged for sale in the home. Deputy Anthony Gaines learned a suspect with an active warrant, Jonathan Fletcher, 37 of Paragould, was staying at 1120 Highway 135 across from the fairgrounds. This was on Tuesday, right? And deputies then conducted surveillance. It said in a discreet location that evening. They were working fast on this and observed that Fletcher was in the home with several others. They also noticed that there was an extension cord running from the back of the home into a neighbor's electrical outlet. Interesting. And at 9:50 that evening, authorities moved in to make the arrest. Not one response was received as they were outside knocking on the door for about 5 minutes, so they went in and made contact at first with Autumn Artis, 24 of Paragould, who was ordered to the ground, taken into custody. Michael Gage Johnson, 22 of Paragould, also taken into custody. And finally, Jonathan Fletcher, 37 of Paragould, taken into custody too. They were charged with, or I should say, are facing charges, including felony possession of meth and paraphernalia. There may be differences. Some of the charges may also be amended because authorities said that they found meth packaged individually in there. It was almost 9 grams of meth packaged individually in the home, so there may be, or may not, we'll see what officers do on this. Sometimes that leads to, with intent to deliver, charges. But nonetheless, that home was found to, and according to the officers who spoke to the individuals, Fletcher said that had only been powered that way for a day. Apparently, he had signed a lease, according to the landlord, or tried to take possession of the property a couple months back, and the landlord said never paid rent. However, it was suspected that there was some drug activity that may have been going on there, according to the report. So, doesn't specify how that officers learned of it. However, it quite possibly could have been some of the folks living nearby, or even the landlord that had noticed something amiss after trying to get the folks that were staying there to pay rent. They never did. And it turns out they were actually apparently inside of the place with some stuff that's not legal. This is definitely a big win for the city of Jonesboro, as almost $300,000 in grant money, federal grant money, has been awarded this week to the city of Jonesboro. This is all going to be going toward helping add 3 new firefighters to the Jonesboro Fire Department. By the way, elite of the elite, JFD. They do an incredible job at Jonesboro. But that is a huge add to the city as well, as it's according to Chief Kevin Miller that 3 firefighters for the city's fleet of fire trucks will be added. The mayor said the grant could not be better timed because Jonesboro Fire Department not received a grant from the FEMA agency, or, well, that's kind of saying agency, isn't it, I guess? Well, FEMA, since 2004. The mayor said, quote, "I am extremely pleased to receive this grant from FEMA. It's always good to add positions for public safety." He said, "We will always be vigilant when it comes to safety," and Jonesboro Fire Department is just that. They do an incredible job in Jonesboro. Now, they'll do an even better job. For those of you interested in business news, in Arkansas, the Walmart heirs, 3 of the children of Sam and Helen Walton, have sold almost $500 million worth of their stock over the summer this year. It might mean nothing, but it's interesting to look at that because whenever the people at the top are selling their stock instead of buying it, it sometimes indicates that the business may be in for troubled times ahead. The shares were sold from the Walton Family Holdings Trust. They still own, obviously, a lot. I mean, that's a drop in the bucket compared to what they own totally. However, they're apparently a part of an ownership plan that they have right now to go below the 50% level. It's all part of an interesting story at talkbusiness.net. If you want to find out more about it, here's the headline: Walton family disposes of. You can check that out from our friends at talkbusiness.net. Childhood Services at Arkansas State University has announced it will conduct training for interested individuals in this area who'd like to earn the Child Development Associate credential, also called CDA. Libby James, the program coordinator, explained in a press release that the nationally recognized CDA credentialing process has the advantage of providing access to the latest techniques and information on best practices for childhood education professionals. The classes are coming up in Jonesboro, enrolling through August 28th. You don't have many days left. They will be meeting on Tuesdays. Childhood Services at Arkansas State, which has been providing CDA training for more than 30 years, offers a complete package that includes trained advisors and instructors. If you head to the education page at neareport.com, you can read more about this story. There's nothing like watching creativity flourish, and this weekend at Arkansas State University, the Department of Theater is probably going to have just that happen. It's conducting its Play in a Day festival, starting with meetings tonight and concluding with public performances at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. Here's how it's going to work. Students are going to collaborate to produce their work within a 24-hour period, and then an audience will enjoy an evening full of short plays at the Simpson Theater at the Fowler Center, 201 Olympic Drive. Admission is free. Tim Bone and Mark Williams, the co-chair of the Department of Theater, co-founded Play in a Day in 2016. They've led the activity during the first weekend of each semester since then. It's the fifth festival in the series. A-State students serve as playwrights, directors, stage managers, and of course actors during the day-long process. They'll write a script, rehearse it, sound, lighting, all that stuff's going to be planned out, and then they'll finally present the play. Think about that. That's kind of a heck of a challenge to put a play together, but then to do it in a 24-hour process, the neck break speed has got to be exciting to see what they come up with. I would say you can't take yourself too seriously, right? So I would expect to see some humor up there on stage. Nonetheless, sounds like an exciting time, and you can read more about it at neareport.com if you'd like. This weekend, the Jonesboro FOP is going to be hosting an event Saturday morning at Academy Sports. It's a shooting education BB gun range, and they're going to have the big inflatable range out that I know they're quite proud of, and you probably would enjoy it and understand why if you get out there and check it out. A very nice piece of hardware that, well, it helps assist officers to teach the young ones about gun safety and whatnot. It's a great opportunity to come out, enjoy the nice weather, and meet some folks that are out patrolling your neighborhood as well. That's happening Saturday morning. It all starts at 9 a.m. at Academy Sports. And this event is on Facebook, so you can actually scroll down on NEA Report and find it. Here's what it looks like. That photo that you were just looking at is the cover photo for it. Search for Jonesboro FOP Shooting Education BB Gun. Just search for Jonesboro FOP Shooting. That'll help. Burglars that entered into a home on the 1000 block of West Jefferson Avenue, or a burglar perhaps, discovered what officers did as well once they got inside. Because the officer that reported this in Jonesboro Police Department said it was a, quote, hoarder's paradise. And that may make things difficult to at least investigate as far as what was stolen, but it may also have deterred a burglar too. We don't know. It was a report that was taken on Thursday. We're talking about August 23rd, if you're watching the show after the fact, after our live broadcast. It was at about 5:15 at the 1000 block of West Jefferson Avenue that an officer met with the complainant who said that her aunt had left town over the weekend and asked her to go by and check the house. You know how people sometimes will have a suspicion something is wrong, right? Well, that's what happened, and sure enough, the house had been broken into through the side door. The suspect entered in the side door, damaging both the door and the door frame. Officers not sure exactly who or maybe whom were the suspects. We don't know that yet. If you know, officers would certainly appreciate you to call 935-STOP, Crime Stoppers, or Jonesboro Police Department, 870-935-6710. But once the officer entered the residence, he observed a house full, he said, and it was used in a quote, the term hoarder's paradise. It made it difficult to ascertain what might have been stolen, but officers were planning to follow up on the case, And the woman, the complainant, was going to be speaking with the aunt to help understand exactly what had been stolen. Again, if you have any information, Jonesboro Police Department would probably appreciate you to give them a call on this one.
Family Medical Clinic of Walnut Ridge and Bono are your neighborhood healthcare providers, and we're now accepting new patients. We know you have a tight schedule, so we're here 6 days a week at both locations from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome. In Walnut Ridge, stop by 1045 West Main Street or call us to make an appointment, 886-8300. In Bono, we're on Highway 63 North or call 930-9990. Walnut Ridge Family Medical Clinic and Bono Family Medical Clinic, here for you when you need us.
We want to get you ready for the weekend with a look at a great forecast courtesy of New Wave Wireless. It's home of the $49 iPhone screen repair and great service and friendly staff too. So check it out. Here's what it looks like. First up though, you do have a slight chance for a couple of showers and thunderstorms to pop up this afternoon. 20% chance for Jonesboro specifically. But after that gets done, get ready for a few nice days ahead, for the weekend at least. Today, high around 85, 71 tonight for the low, down to around, I should say, up to 91 for Saturday for your high, and mostly sunny. For Sunday, mostly sunny, also a high around 91, and the same story for Monday. Tuesday, around 90 for the high. Now, Wednesday and Thursday, we have a slight chance for some showers and thunderstorms to start rolling in, but that's next week. We're not worried about that. We're going to enjoy the weekend. It's going to be a sunny one with a high lingering right around 90 degrees. It's a cooler day in Jonesboro today, though. It's about 82 degrees right now with a few clouds out there. During some recent studies, I came across statistics that showed that Arkansas was ranked the very last as far as income goes. The average income in our state is as low as it gets in America as far as the 50 states go. Unfortunately, some of our other statistics aren't much better. And if you just know what it's like to live these days, you know it's hard. It's very hard to buy groceries. It's very hard to pay your bills. Many months, some people have to make decisions whether they're going to pay a bill or they're going to buy a medication. It's inhumane almost. And so Arkansas is going to give a tax cut to the rich. That's what's happening, literally. The Arkansas Tax Task Force, let's see the exact, it's called the Legislative Tax Reform Task Force, rejected consideration of a tax credit for lower paid workers and then endorsed an income tax cut only for taxpayers in the top bracket for Arkansas. And I just want you guys to know that because Governor Asa Hutchinson, he endorses that. And this is, generally speaking, a conservative Republican idea. Like it or not, trickle-down economics was the essence of the Ronald Reagan years, which was that if you give tax breaks to the people up top, they'll spend more money and everybody at the bottom benefits more. The problem is that it doesn't work that way, and just a small amount of research and education will show you that. However, it really does benefit a lot of big corporations, so of course they're going to promote this idea because greedy rich people want to get richer and be greedier. Think of it like this. If you have no money left and you're given extra money, are you saving that, or are you probably spending it on bills you already have, food you have to pay for, or essentials, your child's school supplies, gasoline to get to work? These are things that drain huge percentages of your bank account if you're not a giant, rich, wealthy person. If you're a millionaire and you get an extra few dollars, say $30,000 a year, because that's what this would equate out to, roughly, for a millionaire, what are you going to do? Are you going to be buying more milk and eggs with that? No. Are you going to be paying your electric bill or health care or buying your child more pencils? No. They already have all that. They have their essentials. They have everything they need. So that money, what does it do? Does it create a new job? No. That's never how rich people put their money. They put it in the bank. They put it in the bank and they save it. When the Bush tax cuts were given out to banks during the Bush years and no requirements were put on the stimulus money that was actually given to the banks, many people said they're going to loan the money out and it's going to fix the lending problem because there was a stranglehold on lending. But it didn't. Instead, they put the money in interest-bearing accounts and they never lent it out. Gradually, things got a little bit better, but all of that money was given to the people at the top and they saved it. It did not trickle down. And it does not trickle down. However, money does flow upward. There have been endless studies that have shown that money for food stamps, which are called SNAP, Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, same thing. Money given toward that becomes money that goes through so many different hands. It changes hands so many times from the first person to the grocer, to the supplier, the farmer, etc., that it actually pays for itself in taxes many times, or most times. Yes, there's small amounts of abuse in it, and nothing is perfect. However, nothing will ever be perfect. So if we focus on the imperfections of the poor, then what happens is we will allow our conservative lawmakers to give tax cuts to the people that are making more money than you and I. We're talking about $80,000 a year individually or $160,000 together, going from a top rate of 6.9 to 6%. We're talking about $180 million, actually about $192 million, leaving the Arkansas budget. Money that, in great many ways, probably benefits, on average, more poor people, more middle-class people, than it does rich people. It's a win for the rich, though. You know, they're fighting things like term limits because they want to keep their monopoly. And what can you do except tell people about it and tell them that this is what they're doing? And if you let them do it, they're going to get richer. And Arkansas is not going to go from being last place in income up. Not with this. And because it's important to get the statistics right and to cite them whenever we do tell you about statistical information, I just want to show you this list of states by income, and then show you at the bottom of the list is Puerto Rico, which is not a state. Mississippi is a state, as is number 49. That's us. You can see with the radar just exactly where those possible showers may come around to NEA today, but they're probably going to avoid us for the most part. We'll be watching it just in case. There is that 20% chance you'll see a little bit of rainfall today, but it should be a sunny weekend with a high right around 91 degrees. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll be here if breaking news breaks out. That's when NEA Report breaks in.